Alright, well, hello everybody. Welcome to our draft for Season 7 of the NASCAR Heat 5 series we have here in Hennessy. I'm Ballstick, host of tonight's draft, as well with my co-host, always Joker, if you'd like to say hello.
Hello.
As So this draft's going to be the same as normal, same procedure as always. We're going to have the little starting screen up for a minute, as then we'll move over to our recap. Since it has been a few months, we'll make sure to fill you guys all in case you've forgotten anything, and we'll take care of it. So this draft's gonna be. I need to send the link out to. Oh, it's already there. We're gonna let people fill in, I think, for a second, because nobody's in the chat quite yet. But beautiful night here. Ready to draft. Stuff like that. Joker, any predictions for tonight? Outside of the obvious stuff.
I think it'll be really interesting to see, since there's no keepers or anything, how strong people are able to build out their teams. Trackhouse has kind of went more top heavy with 3 picks in the top 10, but there's teams like RFK and Penske trying to balance it out, having more picks towards the middle of the draft. So it'll be interesting to see who kind of balances their team out the most.
Yeah, that'll be the most interesting. As we did set the lineup for the draft, is in the order a couple days ago. We've had a couple trades here and there, but there has been some shakeup with ownerships. Uh, there is one owner who is the same owner for the same team as there was last season. Um, I now own Stewart Haas Racing. Miss Soaps is the new owner of Trackhouse. Heredia takes over Roush Fenway. New owner as a whole coming up. The Ghost with Team Penske. And another new owner, Captain Dead Dad, owning Joe Gibbs. Captain Dead Dad and Joe Gibbs has been a long time coming. Unfortunately, didn't get the job last year, but this year, or this season at least, this will be his first go around. So, we're going to see how this all goes. I think it'll be pretty smooth. I think we'll be A-okay. And then, so I think we can get ready with our recaps from last season, and we got to go bottom to top. So we're gonna talk about the Truck Series first. As we could see, here were our 10 playoff drivers and the outcome of that. With Nate the Best winning the championship last year over Shake and Bake, Small NASCAR Fan, and Sikkim. And then we have our, what's that, 5th through 10th finishers of Secure the Perks, Always Marnes, Movement, Captain Dead Dad, Logan, and Glizzy. Joker, take us through last season's truck championship, if you can.
Yeah, I have the full point standings up, and it was mostly dominated, if you can say the least, by Shake and Bake. Obviously won the regular season championship with one extra race to go, 5 wins on the season. But obviously in this format that we have, you can win 19 out of the 20 races and finish second in the last one, and you not win the championship. And I think that's what happened. But Shake towards the playoffs didn't really show the pace that he did in the regular season. And drivers like Sikkim, drivers like Nate, um, all got wins in the playoffs and were able to prove that it wasn't just going to be a shake and bake show for the third time round. So there's been a lot of drivers in the truck series. Shake's kind of been that old veteran in the truck series, being there since season 2. But with the mix of Nate being in there, Sikkim, Secure the Perks, everyone in 8 out of the 10 drivers were not in that series last year. Shake and Captain Dead Dad were the only two that were in that series before. So a lot of rookies in there, and it made a pretty good show.
Yeah, the truck series came with a couple surprises in the playoffs there, um, which was nice to see. It's always nice to see new drivers come up through the ranks as well, go up to the championship races, the playoffs, of course. Um, just seeing what they could do, trying to prove their worth in the league. As I think we can quickly move through there, go to Xfinity real fast, make sure we can get everything through, get this draft done. So moving on to the Xfinity Series, as we could see, Kenny LaFleur was the championship. Oh my God, I'm terrible tonight. Was the championship. Oh, we're gonna move on
Okay,
to McCard in
calm down.
second,
Okay.
JoJo third, and then Noah's Bowles slash Always Eric finishing fourth. One of our league owners, Masopes, missed out on the final four, finished fifth. Killer sixth, Speed seventh, who was also our regular season champion. Jose Protege P8, Hendrick P9, and T-Bird P10. Um, Jerry, if you could take it away real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, kind of similar to the Truck Series, but the guy that had the most wins got the championship. Kenny's been here since season 2 as well, and got the Cup Series, or not. I'm sorry, not the Cup Series championship, the Xfinity Series championship. I believe he's second or third in the all times wins list. And even though there was a lot of challengers, Eric had a few race wins. Masopes had a win here and there. Speed had a win, but it kind of felt like Kenny was the best driver all season long, and that was the result at the end.
Yeah, Kenny has always showed speed here. I've been here since season three, and every season that I've raced against him, he's always been really one of the top dogs, one of the guys to beat every week. So if you beat Kenny, you had a good week that week. So the Xfinity Championship was quite something. The whole playoffs, the whole season was had its ups and downs. It was a roller coaster ride as an Xfinity driver. A lot of unfortunate events, but also a lot of fortunate events occurred. But quickly moving through here, trying to get through again. We're going to go to our Cup Series as the Heredia God was our champion. He has the most championships in the league for the Cup Series. He is our three-time champion, beating out Always Joker, Chibi the Champ, and YB Beta. Um, I believe Chibi was the regular season champion for that one because I
He
remember him.
was.
I remember him begging Jim for a graphic, so that's how I remember that. Nobes P5, Slick P6, Elite Precision P7, Bean P8, Smoke Zmog P9, and Papa Musa P10. Um, I wasn't in the Cup Series, so I'm gonna once again hand it off to Joker because he just had front row seats to this one, as we can say.
Yeah, it was pretty much a 4 horse race in the Cup Series, I believe. If my math is right, um, the four of us, me, Chibi, YB, and Heredia, resulted in 18 of the 20 race wins. So, um, pretty like dominant at the top. Just the top four were pretty much level ahead of everyone else in that final season compared to previous seasons where we usually have 1 to 2 drivers that kind of pull away, but any of the four that were in that final four were deserving of it. Probably, yeah. So good on Heredia for getting that one and seeing he can do it again.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how these new next gen cars treat our new Cup drivers, possibly whoever is now entering the league or re-entering the Cup Series. I'm excited to see who has actually put the most time in, because that's usually who wins the races if everything goes to plan. But passing the mic off to our league owner, or one of our league owners, Miss Soaps. Welcome to the draft stream. How are you?
Pretty good, man. I think you guys really summed up everything about the last season recap. I don't think any of us envisioned that we'd be on stream right now doing another draft. So I really appreciate everybody out there that filled out a draft form and wants to race again. And like I said, man, I think a lot of these people just get really bored. We're all NASCAR fans at the end of the day, and when when a good game company can't give us a new game every now and then, we end up finding ourselves back on Heat 5. And I don't think anything's wrong with that as long as everybody can just remember that we've all been here a while. We all know how to race. And I think it'll be a really fun season as long as everybody remembers those two things.
Yeah, I do think the new next gen update, even though it's a year late, has really revitalized this game as a whole because it gets pretty stale usually with the same cars, same tracks, same everything. But what do you guys say? And we just move right on to the draft. Do you guys have no other questions or comments about tonight, and we can move on?
No, I mean I'm pretty set. We got a busy schedule tonight, so with our Formula One series kicking off at 9 p.m. Division One, which will also be live streamed on this YouTube channel. So we got a lot to talk about here with this draft, though, and I'm really excited to see what who you have to pick here at number one, Ball Stick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through all my choices once again. But I'm gonna show everybody the draft display that we have here. Some one late add-in, but it's okay. So as you can see here, I have the first pick of the draft. Hendrick Motorsports and Riley has the second. Trackhouse and Michels with the third. Roush Fenway and Heredia with the fourth. Team Penske, the Ghost with the fifth pick. And final pick of the first round, we have Joe Gibbs Racing and Captain Dead Dad. To clarify, the boxes with the team names were traded picks. So the box for round one with Trackhouse where it says Penske, that'll be Ghost pick instead. The same thing. It's a new thing we've been doing these past couple drafts. But I'm gonna let you guys look at this. Put the on the clock graphics up here now. Give me 1 minute.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of Ball Stick, just going through the information, the details, key details for the draft here tonight. Every team owner will have 3 minutes to make their selection since we don't have 12 rounds and 70 over 80 drivers. Giving them that extra minute, I doubt anyone needs that extra minute, but it's happened later in a draft. Trades can happen during the draft, but the there's only 16, so you don't really have a lot of time to sit there and talk to other teams and make a trade when your pick can come up pretty quickly. So, um, yeah, and I think if Bostic is ready, um, our draft pool will officially be open.
All right. Well, with the first pick of the season 7 draft, I am picking my good friend Big Jim 11. This was quite an easy decision for me. Me and Jim go way back. Me and him have been good friends for many years so far. And I think we're going to keep the legacy going with me and Big Jim as teammates. And I think this time around we'll actually be racing a full season in the same series together, which would be great, and I think would be really fun to finally experience once again since probably about 2020. But next pick is Riley, and Hendrick Motorsports is now on the clock.
Yeah, while we wait for Hendrick Motorsports, I will be the Speed would say the talent president of talent relations here at HMS. So I will be making the pick. But before we get into the next pick, just talk to Mason. Mason, what is his team owner on the F1 side? What is SHR getting?
You can't really correlate F1 F1 to NASCAR like that. I know that's not what you meant, but Jim is a really good guy outside of the racetrack. He's somebody that I find myself to have a lot of common with. And I'm sure the same thing with Ball Stick, but as a from a team standpoint, from the Heat 5 standpoint, I think it's a really good pick. You can make an argument that there's better talents out there on the draft board right now that deserve to be number one, and you can make that argument, but at the same time, you can also make an argument that Jim is one of the best drivers that the league's ever seen. And I think that's true. I think when he's committed, when I think he's in the zone, I think he's really, really hard to beat at a lot of the technical tracks. like Richmond, Martinsville, any of the technical tracks. He's a really, really good driver. So I think it's a good pick at the end of the day. I wouldn't say Bostic reached whatsoever. Like he said, he's one of his good friends. So you know that the chemistry will always be gelling over there with SHR. And I just don't think Jim is I don't think people should undermine him as far as results and performance as much as they have in this offseason. He's done a lot on iRacing. He's worked hard on F1 also to get better. And we're going back to Heat 5. And, we knew what we saw back then with Jim. So hopefully he likes this new next gen car and can get some good results with it.
Yeah. But, we'll move on to the next pick. With the second pick in the HPL draft, Hendrick Motorsports will select Chibi the Champ to join the HMS program. Bostic, just talk us through Chibi, the most wins in Cup last season. Just what are they getting?
Chibi's a very good NASCAR Heat 5 race car driver from my standpoint there. Winning a lot of races last season. We all thought the guy to beat every week was going to be YB. He was one of the guys to beat every week. We had Chibi also rise to the occasion and beat his friends throughout this entire season long. Chibi's a very fast race car driver, and it was only a matter of time until he ended up over at Hendrick Motorsports, looking to get that championship this time around. So we're gonna see what can happen this season.
Yeah, and with Joker, I don't. This is what we know as of now. Joker's not going to be racing this season, so you can already tell that Chibi is going to be their guy with their HMS with that pick, and I think that's a great pick. I think he belonged to the 9 car one season ago. We'll see what car he goes in. I'm thinking probably the 5, but I think it's just a really, really good pick. Chibi's a great driver. When he's locked in, he's locked in. You're not going to see him outside the top 3 at very many tracks, and that's a very hard thing to do in the field that we create every season. We try really hard to have a good bit of talent in our league, and Chibi's at the top. When you want to win a race, you're going to have to go through him at some point to get the win. So that's a great pick. If they wanted somebody to fill in Joker's shoes with him not racing this season, they got it right. They definitely got it right.
Yeah, good pick there. Just going somewhere different. A lot of people thought we were going with another driver, but just trying something different. Not really. You can't really go wrong with any of these picks in these first 4 to 5 um, drivers. So, but we will move on to Masopes, and or no, I'm sorry. I am really sorry. It is Team Penske on the clock. I forgot they made a trade earlier this morning. So, the Ghost, I believe he's in here. He has the option to announce his third pick.
I do, and I am ready whenever you guys are.
Yep, the floor is yours.
Alrighty, we will select JoJo.
Jojo, see you all later. Let's go.
Yeah, good pick there. I think a couple people might have saw that coming with the relationship that JoJo has had with Penske in the past. But good pick. JoJo's been here for a very, very long time, I believe since the beginning. And he's one of the staple drivers of Hennessy. When you think of drivers from Hennessy that have been here a long time, that our namesake is their namesake, JoJo's one of those people. It's a short list of people, but he's one of those people. And he's also a great driver. Penske is not getting some slouch. They're getting somebody that's going to go and compete every week. They're getting somebody that has played this game while a lot of other people have not. And that's no bash on JoJo. That is great for his upcoming season here in HPL, because a lot of people have taken time off from this game. JoJo's a big NASCAR fan. He's not gonna stop racing. He's gonna find leagues that benefit him and that do things the right way. And that's what he's done in our long off-season period. So I think that's a great pick from Team Penske. And I think that his results will come because of how much he's played the game, during a lot of people's off-season.
Yeah, but as we are joined by the next pick, RFK, the Heredia God, is now on the clock, and if he is here, he can make his selection as well. Don't think he is here. or can hear us. But, the past series champion, a lot of good guys still out on the draft board. See what Heredia picks here. And with the fourth pick in the HPO draft, RFK will select. Almost said his name wrong. Cyogenic to join Heredia, I assume in the Cup Series, to try and win RFK a title.
Yeah, man, that's a great pick by Heredia. Cyogenic is a newcomer here to HPL, but not a newcomer to League Racing all around NASCAR Heat 5. He's a very fast driver, and I'm excited to see what he could do in these new next gen cars.
Yeah, I've been beaten many times in many different leagues from Scio, just not this one. So he'll probably write that off pretty soon into the season, I think. I think that's a really good pick from RFK, Scio and Heredia. Both of them, I assume, will be racing in Cup. So you can already say that RFK is going to be hard to beat in overall team points if they continue to draft this way. Cyogenic is also a very, very good driver. He's been around a long time in the Heat 5 community, so I think this is a good pick. It's just I think there was a little instance of uncertainty with if he'll make all the races, what tracks he wants to race and what he doesn't. So hopefully Heredia can get that sorted out with him, though, and we'll see him every week. If we do see him every week, he will be a threat to win the Cup championship, and that's no question.
Yeah, but we're going to move on to pick 5, and that is Trackhouse Racing. Masopes, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for this pick, but I've had this in my mind ever since the draft order came out, and since I traded with Ghost earlier today, I really felt like I had my draft board set, and no one's really fell from where I think they would. So pick 5 overall, Trackhouse round 1. We're going to take Mike G.
Mike G, huh?
Yeah,
So
Mike G.
That is what we love to see.
Yeah, I've raced with him in quite a few leagues in our off season, and he's definitely improved his craft in the next gen. I think he'll be top 5 pace at a lot of the tracks we go to, and me and Mike G also have a really good relationship outside of the game. So I think our chemistry will also be gelling pretty well over there, and I hope he's ready.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Recently, he's been pretty active in our F1 series, racing both Div 2 and Div 1, as he is a Div 2 full-time driver. He's been reserving in D1. He's just been putting in that work, so I don't think that work will stop with Heat 5 and these next-gen cars.
Yeah, he won the race yesterday in our F1 series. So going in the first round with really good group of drivers is going to be a big confidence booster for Mike G. And then we will now move on to the last pick in the first round. And then we got through the first 6 picks, or once we get through the first 6 picks, then we'll kind of go a little bit quicker with our selection. So we're not here till all day. And Joe Gibbs Racing, Captain Dead Dad, is on the clock, and he has 2 picks back to back. So I believe he is in the voice chat. So whenever he is ready, he has the floor to make his 2 picks.
Yes, I am, and I am ready. I'm just going to give them back to back because I'm sick and I don't want to draw this out. For the 6th pick, I'm going to be taking YB. For the 7th pick, I will be taking Speed.
Interesting. A lot of people thought Speed would not go in the second round, and I think YB, you know what you're getting with YB, was in JGR last year. Know what you're getting, but the Cup field so far, you're going to have to go through I believe all 6 of those guys in the first round will be in our Thursday series. So I expect that 6 to probably be the top 6 in points. Just see how that kind of falls. And then with Speed, Mason, you've had your love-hate relationship. What is Captain Dead Dad getting?
He's getting somebody that's dedicated. I'll tell you that. He's getting somebody that's dedicated and that's going to show up when he can make it, and he's going to put in the laps. He's going to work for it. There's nobody in this league, and that's no diss on speed. There's nobody in this league that's going to work harder to be better at the game than speed. And people can laugh for that. People can say what they want for that. But at the end of the day, that's competition, and that competition is what's needed around in these type of leagues. And I'm excited. I'm happy for him. Hopefully he can get some results out for JGR. But like I said, that's a dedicated driver. That's somebody that's going to work to improve their craft. And I no matter what, at the end of the day, that's what you want. So.
Yeah, man, those are some
Yeah,
pretty
good pick
solid
there.
picks.
Hmm.
YB going 6th in the first round. Not bad. And then we have Speed going 7th, first pick in the second round. Like I said, with solid picks, I think both drivers will be really good this season. Haven't seen anybody, honestly, drive the next-gen cars yet, but if I do believe anyone will probably have the most improvement this season, one of those drivers will probably be Speed Racer in those cars. We are going to move along. We have Trackhouse back on the clock. Miss Soaps, whenever you are ready, you can
Yeah,
announce your pick.
This next pick is going to be crazy. No one saw this coming. Not even the people that I've put in my circle. Of guys that I plan on drafting. I don't think the guy that I'm drafting saw this coming either. But we're going to go ahead and take Noah's Bowl here, and we're going to get him back in an Xfinity ride over at Trackhouse for this next season.
I will admit
It's a good pick.
that is not exactly who I thought you were going for, but as soon as you started saying that, he's the the first name that came to mind. You two have had quite a history together, and I'm just excited to see how this United in Rivalry thing goes that we have here. But he's a very solid driver in the Xfinity Series. Won a few races, I believe, last season with Trackhouse. He was, I think, nope, I'm thinking of the year prior, but he's a very solid driver, and I'm excited to see if he can pick up where he left off.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you have any
I
comments?
believe. Yeah. He just ran in our. He's going to be my teammate tonight. But he really wants to improve off the last season. Last season, the controversial New Hampshire finish with the driver that selected him. Just kind of wants to prove his name in a different light. It's happened with a few drivers in here that have been known for their aggressive moves and moves that people might not like, but they have to do, that have really changed since the beginning of HPL in general. So we'll see. Eric will be the championship threat in the Xfinity Series. So we'll just see how Mason kind of builds out that roster with Eric and Mike G.
Yeah, man, once again, solid pick as we're going to move quickly along to Roush Fenley Keselowski Racing with Heredia. So whenever his pick is in, we will announce it as well.
Yep, and no surprise here. RFK Racing will select the Season 6 champion, Xfinity Series champion, Kenny LaFleur.
Kenny. It's always nice to see him. He's one of the. I can rope him in there with. Oh. Never, I'm just going to stop talking. I'm having an issue right now.
Yeah, I can tell. But Mason, I've raced with Kenny. Kenny's been on Hendrick Motorsports for 2 seasons. Made the playoffs, made deep runs, but couldn't get it done. What's going to be different about him this season compared to last? What can he improve on, even with the 6 wins that he got?
Yeah, I think Kenny's a great driver. Me and him have went at it quite a few times in the Xfinity Series. His first race ever was Phoenix Season 2. It was the second race of a 26-race season. And he started last and won the race by, I think, about 5 seconds. And I think everybody knew then that we were going to have somebody around that had what it took to challenge a lot of people. And I think that's a good pick, especially if he's in the Xfinity Series. I think I made the first move as far as drafting a solid Xfinity driver with Eric, and Heredia followed me up. right again. So I know that there's somebody out there in the Xfinity Series that's going to challenge one of my guys, and I think it's good. I think it's good for Kenny. I think it's good for Reddy as well. Overall, a really good pick. But like you said, the deep runs haven't came to fruition like they should have in seasons past. But maybe with Heredia as his team owner, he can change that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
As I was trying to say earlier, Kenny, like I said during the recap, Kenny's one of those guys where if you're beating him, you know you're having a good day. He's always showed speed, especially back when him and old Tiger NASCAR were teammates. Back in, I think, season 3 or 4.
3. Yes, season 3.
Um, the glory days, as some say. But very solid pick. I'm excited to see what Kenny does as well as a defending champion from last season.
Yeah, I believe Trackhouse is up next, right?
Yeah, Trackhouse. As Miss
Yeah, I'm
Hopes,
ready.
whenever you're ready. There you go.
Yeah, I'm ready to make my pick. A lot of people probably didn't expect this one either. I'm sure there's going to be a million people that are going to tell me I'm leaving town on the board, but I know this guy's going to show up week in and week out. He'll be there every week, and I know he's gonna try to perform the best he can. And he's also a really good friend of mine. He's the reason why I'm league racing now. One of the reasons. So we're going to take Fire Slayer here at 10th overall, and we're going to pair him up with myself and Mike G and Cup.
Fire Slayer has been a name that even when I joined, he was also here, and he's just no matter what game it is, he's been putting the work in. Whether it be Gran Turismo 7, maybe even I don't think he has F1, but when it comes down to these next gen cars, I think he'll be one of the guys to watch throughout this season.
Yeah, solid pick there. Um, yeah, might not be the fastest every lap, but he will show up to every race without an issue. Um, so good on Masopes kind of getting the veterans, a lot of veterans in that group, drivers that have been here since season 1, season 2. So you know what you're getting out of those drivers.
Hey man, solid pick, but we're gonna move quickly along here to Hendrick Motorsports for their second pick of tonight's draft, as Hendrick is now on the clock.
And I
Whenever you're
believe
ready.
Riley is here, so I think we'll be going back and forth discussing who we are interested in. Just waiting on a confirmation if he is online. But Mason, when you just give us some time here while he's deciding, what was the decision making in making the trade with Team Penske earlier today?
Yeah, I just saw an opportunity where I feel like I could benefit from it. I think with the people that I drafted, I probably could have gotten them without trading away my third round pick for his second round pick. But at that point in time, I was really looking at a talent based team, and I started talking with a couple people that I knew I was going to draft, and they wanted to go a different direction. And when at the end of the day, I'm the team owner, so I can make the decision myself. But I felt like that was the right decision to make, was to go with the veterans, to go with the guys that are going to show up every week. That no matter what happens, with them in the league or outside of the league, they're going to let me know if they can't make it. That's another thing too, is communication. And everybody that I've drafted communicates really well with me. And it was more or less a results standpoint. I'm not going to go out there and try to get somebody that's going to win every single race. I want guys that are going to show up, that are going to be a good teammate to me, that I know I can be a good teammate to them. And I think I made the right choices in that mindset. Would you say I made the right choice?
Yeah, I think you always. I personally would have went another route, but everyone's different. But we do have the next pick, and Hendrick Motorsports will select a familiar friend and foe, Captain Jack, coming back to HMS
Good pick.
in the
That's a
Xfinity
good pick
Series.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah. Jack being in the Xfinity cars, he's been there before and he's been strong. when he has the time to dedicate to it. And I think with people like you and Chibi and Riley in his corner, it's just going to make him a lot better. He was somebody that went under a lot of people's radar. None of the owners were talking about Captain Jack before this draft. So not a shock though for me because I felt like he would go in the first 3 rounds. I just didn't want to say anything. You don't you don't want to let the other owners know what's up. So really good pick by HMS, and looking forward to see what he can do in Xfinity.
Yeah, man. He's always been quick in the trucks, and I think he can only get better here in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, overall, a really good pick, I think. Like I said, another guy that went under a lot of people's radar. We'll see what else HMS has up their sleeve. They didn't trade any of their picks, so I'm sure they've got their guys planned out where they want, and definitely a surprise for some people. But I think we will see some more surprises from HMS, and we'll move on to the next pick here, pick 12 overall. SHR is back on the clock.
Yep, 2 picks here.
As we are back on the clock, I'm just running through things once again real quickly, and then I'll have it ready. I can at least go over the first pick here. The first pick of this couple will be Killer XL. He's a good buddy of mine, and I think we can just go places with him over here at SHR. Possibly, I'm not sure. I believe that'll be our second Cup driver for the team. And I'm going to go with the pick here as well, who I don't think anyone expected out of this draft, wherever this guy was going. But for my second pick, or first pick of the third round, I'm going with Jackson Altman to join us here at Stewart Haas Racing.
Okay. I just every time you hear Jackson Altman, you just kind of assume it'll be with Heredia and or in any way possible. But I'm definitely surprised at this pick right here.
I think Jackson is a very good driver, very fast when it comes down to when he puts his head down and sees ground that is to be gained. As we've seen in the F1 series, he retired to make the competition closer. So I'm hoping with wherever he decides to race, I think might be the Xfinity Series. I think he'll notice that too, and try to get us a couple wins here for Stewart Haas Racing.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Jackson has come far in NASCAR Heat 5. He's worked to be as good as he is now, and like you said, the F1 series is he's very, very good over there in F1, and maybe if he can correlate a little bit of that over to NASCAR, he'll be able to get really good results.
That was my exact mindset.
Yeah, but we move. We'll see how his availability is throughout the season. I think he'll show up to most races. Luckily, it's not on a Thursday, and if you know Jackson Altman recently, his Thursdays are dedicated to specific things outside of racing now. But
Absolutely.
with the next pick, I don't think this will shock anyone. Hendrick Motorsports will select, I believe, one of the only drivers that has stayed on one team throughout his entire years of racing, and we'll go with McCard.
There it is. I can't see McCart driving anything else besides that 9 car. So it's nice to see him go back to his home.
Yeah, Mason. What are we getting with McCard? You're good friends with him, MLB, NASCAR, PGA. So I dropped my calendar. What are we getting with the driver of the 9? As he's already said that in our team chat.
Yeah, really, really good pick. I think at the end of the day, McCard is going to show up to what races he can make, and you know what you're getting out of McCard. Like you said, he's been on the same team for the entirety of his career in Hennessy, and I think that's that's impressive. That's impressive. You're not seeking change. Obviously, he's liked the environment that Riley and you have provided him over the last 7 seasons. And like I said, that's arguably the most important thing about league racing and doing what we do is having somebody like that, having somebody that is always going to be around. He's always going to support you. You're always going to support them, and just the environment that the owners create is a really big part. And I think the results that are shown on track. And McCart is perfect in that situation. He's never faltered at HMS, and I don't expect him to falter now.
Yeah. With the next pick, I believe it's Penske, right?
Yep, Penske is on the clock as the
Yeah.
team owner is in this call, so whenever he is ready, he may go ahead and announce his pick.
Yes, Team Penske will like to select electric days.
Okay. Everyone knows electric days. You either love them or you hate them. I assume he'll be in the Xfinity Series. Might be Cup. Last time I checked, but he will. He's kind of like Speed as well. He will put the time in to try and get better. Anything electric does, he will give 110%. So if he's in Cup, he has a really, really tough hill to climb. So we'll just see how that goes throughout the season.
Yeah, it's a very solid pick. I've known Electric for a good while since I joined Hennessy, and he's always been one of those guys who you've been able to race around, but he also does get to the front, and when he does get to the front, he tends not to look back, and he can drive away.
Yeah, Ghost. What are you getting? Why? What was the thought process selecting electric days?
Well, just the relationship I have with him as a person and just how he drives on track. I know he's kind of had his ups and downs, but when he's in, and he's going to put in the work to be able to do what he needs to do.
Oh, I was just called a loser in a iRacing chat. That's fun. I should take that. I believe the next pick is RFK, and Heredia said he is able to talk for this pick. Heredia, you're on the floor. You have the floor.
Okay. Well, RFK, his first pick as of now will be always Marnes, and my back-to-back pick will be.
Wait a minute. You have a second pick after that? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
you do. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. As I was saying, to continue my picks here, I'll pick always Marnes and Logan Aim.
Two Truck Series guys last year. Both Marnes, I believe, finished fifth, and Logan A finished eighth in that Truck Series championship battle. I honestly forgot or didn't notice he had two back-to-back picks. So good on him for kind of just earning those picks. I believe one was via trade with Team Penske. So Mason, what are they getting with Logan Aim? I believe he was on Penske last year, and you were on Penske as well. So what are they getting?
That's another driver that's dedicated. Somebody's going to show up and work on their craft to get better, to get results. I think Logan really, really wanted more from his season last year, and I think over at RFK, he's an Aston Martin driver for Heredia and F1. Obviously, the chemistry is there because he is hawking Gary down in the D2 point standings. It's crazy to see how far he's come back in the standings to where he's at now. And I think it's a good pick. I think if he can just bring that dedication over to NASCAR again, it's really hard though, on a game that's so old. But if he can do that, that's a really good pick, especially for the Xfinity Series. Logan knows how to drive those cars, so I think he'll be just fine. And good pick from Heredia of what's available.
Yeah, man, solid pick from Heredia with Logan. He's always showed speed. I think he was in the Xfinity Series Season 5, Truck Series Season 6. So I'm excited to see how much better he can get in Season 7.
And I believe JGR has 2 picks back to back, correct?
They do, as JGR is now back on the clock. Captain Dead, whenever you are ready, go
That
ahead and
would
announce
be
his
correct.
picks.
And I am going to again keep it short and sweet. For the 18th pick of the draft, we are going to be taking Nobes, and for the 19th pick, we are going to be taking Spin and Win.
Okay. Nobes, similar to like Fire Slayer, Mike G, been here since season 1, championship contender, and I believe all of his seasons, dating back to even season 1 of the Truck Series. You know what you're getting with Nobes. I believe he'll be in the Cup Series. Our Auto Club, I don't know what to say. King, he's won, I believe, 4 out of the last 5 races there. So it's some crazy stat like that. And then going with Spin and Win on the way back around, driver in ARC. Um, we haven't seen him race on the NASCAR side, but you have to assume that that's a solid pick there. The connection between Dead Dad and Spin and Win through ARC over the years, and going with that pick there.
Yeah, man, I believe both of those picks are pretty solid. Nobes, we all love Nobes. We all know who he is. Like Joker said, he's the Auto Club guy. Whenever we go to Auto Club, one of the picks for that race is definitely going to be Nobes. Spin and Win once again. Haven't seen him at all on Heat, but
Yeah, Spin and Win, not really a guy we've seen much
Oh,
on Heat 5. We don't really know much about him, but we know from sources in leagues I shall not name that he's pretty good. So hopefully JGR gets a pretty good result from Spin and Win. And I see he's also listed as Thursdays only, so he'll be on that Cup roster with YB. And already when you have 2 drivers that are pretty capable like that, I think you're doing well. So good pick from JGR.
yeah, that scared me. I thought it was me that cut out there.
No, I think somebody came in his room. If Dylan, if you're at the computer and can hear us,
yeah, I got it.
we are ready to move over to Team Penske. So Heredia, if you are in the chat,
That
you want to
is
announce?
That is not Heredia.
Heredia.
That is not Heredia.
That
Whole
is
team.
the Ghost.
Yeah.
And I've got back to back as well this round.
Well, are you ready to fire?
Sure. Screw it. Why not? All right. So for my next 2 picks, the first one is going to be Person 1-0 and a bunch of 1s and 0s. I'll let you figure that one out. And the second one might be a bit of a shock, but I'm gonna take someone who's unknown. I think it's Lucia is how you pronounce his name. I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, Wuchia.
We'll just call him Steven.
That works. We'll do that.
Yeah, Steven's a good pick. A lot of people don't know anything about him in this league. I've raced him before, though, and he definitely is one of those guys that works, that's dedicated, that tries to improve his racecraft. And I think that's a good pick no matter where you go. If he's put in Cup, I think that might be a little uncharted waters for him, but in Xfinity, I think he'd perform really, really well. He's very new to the league, though. Like, a lot of people don't know who he is, but thankfully somebody in this booth has a little bit of knowledge about him. And overall, it's a good pick. He'll have top 5 pace at some tracks, and he'll have top 10 pace just about every track. So you're getting a really good guy to bolster your roster. And I think that's a good pick. And just before him, Person, you know what you're getting out of Person. I think we've all raced with Person for a while. Some of us have butted heads with Person, but he's an aggressive driver at the end of the day. And that's what you're getting. You want somebody that's not afraid to move someone else out of the way. I saw a Person was listed as Thursdays only, so we can assume that he'll be in a Cup ride with Ghost. And I think that's a good pick. Both good picks.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from Steven. Never seen him race, so I'm excited to see what he can do. Person, he's been in the Xfinity Series multiple times. I've seen him race, he's pretty good. Keep it clean. But overall, solid picks.
Yeah, and I believe Trackhouse is next, right? I think, right? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. Yep, Mason. So you do have the next pick, and the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm going to take got him. A lot of people don't know got him either, and I'm not really sure where we might place him yet because of his availability. But he wants to race. He wants to try to make himself available as well to race, and right there off the rip, that's a reason to sign somebody. But there's a lot more behind the scenes to got him about why I'm signing him, his pace, and things like that. And no matter where he races, I think people will find out very quickly how good he is. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to bring him in. He's somebody that's raced with me and Mike G for quite some time now. So, like I said, probably no shock pick like the one before, but yeah, I think we're getting somebody good here.
Yeah, and I've only seen him race one race, and he was our very own version of Joey Logano in an Atlanta race in Cobra Kai. So it's the only race I've seen of him. So it's kind of a shot in the dark pick, in my opinion. But obviously they could be really good or not really turn out the way they want to. But the next pick will be HMS, Hendrick Motorsports. We're just getting your way.
Can you guys hear me?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a FaceTime call. Great. But just waiting on Riley to.
Another FaceTime call.
Yeah, another. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, just waiting on Riley to make his selection. But yeah, so we're about halfway. Well, at the end of this round, we'll officially be over halfway done with this. So we're doing good time wise.
Yeah, while we wait for Riley to get his pick in, which you're more than welcome to interrupt me whenever that happens. But what is your guys' opinion in the biggest shock of the draft? What driver were you most shocked by to the team they went to? I'm going to say mine is Jackson Altman. Did not see SHR taking him right there.
Yeah, man, we're kind of just winging it.
But I agree. I think everyone kind of went. There was no big reach pick, in my opinion. Maybe Wuxia, because I've never seen him race. But other than that,
I have a couple guys in mind for that one, Mason. I think you picking Noah's Bowl was a surprise to me, at least. And then also Speed going to Joe Gibbs Racing. I wasn't sure where feelings lied between each other, but I do remember now that Speed was on JGR at one point throughout his career here at Hennessy, but at the moment I was unsure. But those are some pretty solid picks from both of you guys, and hopefully we'll have HMS's here in a second.
And we do. With HMS's fourth pick, I believe, they will select Freedom Flyer.
My doppelganger. How dare you. But
and I believe he will be in our Xfinity series to add to the talent of Captain Jack and McCard.
Solid pick. Everyone knows Freedom Flyer. And I believe, in my opinion, everybody likes Freedom Flyer. He is our little guy over here in Hennessy. He's loved by many. And whenever you are having a bad day, you best believe Freedom's going to be there for you. And help cheer you up. He's a very good guy to have on the team for just team morale as a whole, stuff like that. So I think it's a pretty solid pick for HMS.
Yeah, liking that pick, mainly because of the Xfinity upside. Just trying to group him with some older guys Some veterans, Freedom's a veteran himself, with McCard, with Captain Jack, just trying to create a good core for our Xfinity side to say this will be the best team in Xfinity, and you will have to go through us.
If there are no other comments, we're going to move along to Super Haas's round 4 and round 5 picks here, as I'm going through as well. So first pick, I'm going to go out on a limb here, is a new driver here to Hennessy Performance Racing League. He was a bit talkative today, and that driver is going to be MG Racing 45. Over here at SHR, I'm going to provide our teamwork and what we can do as a team, because you best believe there is no I in team. So he did claim to be a good teammate, so we're going to take a guess on a limb and see what he can do with us as well. And then we'll get through. I'm going to ponder for another second or two and then come back to it in a second.
As we now reach the 5 o'clock timer on in my world in California, 1 hour into our F1 race at Brazil, basically reaching the halfway point in our draft. 3 drivers fighting for the D1 championship: myself, the Heredia God, and Clay the Monkey at Brazil. So last night's race in D2 was pretty hectic. Obviously, a late race safety car took up the field, and then penalties were the deciding factor there. So we'll see how tonight's race goes. Maybe some rain on the forecast, but Ballstick is here. Can make his next pick.
So my round 5 pick is in, and we're going to go with RFK's previous Truck Series champion, Nate 125 the best, here in round 5. I think for me, Nate was still there, so it was basically a no-brainer. I just had to take a closer look and see who else was actually on the board. But me and Nate, he was one of my truck drivers from last season, and he was also the truck champion. So I'm excited to see what he can do here in Season 7.
Yeah, solid pick. I believe he'll be in Cup. So he's just for everyone that gets picked after the first 3 rounds with Sayo, with Heredia, with Chibi, with YB. If you want to make the playoffs and make a deep run into the playoffs, you're going to have to go through those guys, and you're going to have to put a lot of work in. So we'll just see what Nate can do. He's done it before. Shake's a good driver. Sikkim, Marner. So we'll just see what Nate can do in SHR.
Yeah, moving along, we got Hendrick Motorsports on the clock. So whenever Joker gets the word from Riley to announce the pick, we can keep it going.
Yeah, we're just waiting. I don't know where he went, but I know who I am looking at with this pick, if he agrees. And he does. We will select Baseball Kid to join Hendrick Motorsports, kind of going a lot of guys that were on my current Mercedes team, besides Eric, who went to Trackhouse. Impressed me in the race he did a few weeks ago. Mason was in that said race, so he will be in our Cup program, and Riley will also be in our Cup program. So we went 3-3. They're evenly split, and I think we have a good core so far.
Yeah, definitely a good pick from HMS. There's I didn't think you would draft baseball personally because of the differences outside of the track that you and him have faced together. So for me, that's the shock of the draft. That's more shocking than me drafting Eric. I mean, to be completely honest with you, that's insane.
Yeah, man, solid pick. He's good at F1, so hopefully he's also good at NASCAR Heat 5. So we're going to move quickly along here to Trackhouse. See what Most Hopes has cooking in this kitchen.
Yeah, I'm ready to sign my 4th Cup driver right here. He's been a good friend of mine for a long time. He's the best driver in the server, and we're going to take Hale State here.
Okay. Sorry.
You're coming home, buddy. You're coming home.
Good old Hale State, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's actually been in Hennessy longer than me. So if we don't have any more comments, we're gonna move along here to Heredia's pick. Whenever he is ready, he can unmute and announce it for us.
With my pick, I am going to select Mr. Hex to drive for me at RFK.
Mr. Hex.
Hex.com.
Whatever that means.
That's a good driver. There's a car on the next gens that just says Hex.com. I believe it's the 55. Maybe Heredia can work some ways around that to get the 55 on his team because it is a Ford. I think Hex would like to drive his own car, but we're not sure where he's going, if he's going to be in Xfinity or Cup. But you know what you're getting out of Hex. He's somebody that's been around for a minute. He's a good friend of mine as well off the track, and I think he'll be good over there with Heredia. I didn't really see where Hex might have gone before that. So overall, good pick.
Yeah, that's solid. He showed speed in the Xfinity races we had. I don't know whether he's going to Xfinity or Cup. We'll have to wait and see. But not a bad pick.
And I believe RFK has the next pick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Heredia, you're back on the clock. Well, he has 2 back-to-back picks. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, so my other pick will be Shake and Bake. Not the old Shake and Bake, but the new one, the new and improved Shake and Bake.
Yeah, I did laps with him last night, or me and Heredia did. Showed some solid pace. Obviously, it's a pub lobby, so you can take that with however much salt as you will. But if he's in Xfinity, I think that could be a good sleeper pick. Shot in the dark could work out for RFK.
Yeah, not bad.
And Joe Gibbs Racing is next up with its 2 picks, third and second last picks, and then they have one final one to end our draft. But Captain is here; he has the 4.
Indeed.
Justin.
Whenever he is ready.
I'm here. Give me a second. I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah, we're gonna give him a moment.
Yeah. Ugh. It looks like for pick number 30, round 5, we're actually going to go a little bit out of left field with someone who I don't really like all that much in the past, and I don't really talk to him all that often. But Movement.
Oh,
Movement. Going home.
Yeah. For pick 31, we are actually going to end up taking McAvoy.
wait. Oh, okay. You confused me.
Remember?
Yeah.
There goes John.
Yeah, Bostic, I know he's probably not happy.
Yeah, I mean, me and John have been very good friends for however long. I can't even count the amount of years off the top of my head. All I know is that if he wasn't picked this round, I know for a fact he was coming home to Stuart Haas Racing. But good pick though. I love John. He's one of my good buddies. One of my only online friends that I've actually met in real life. So hopefully, I'm excited to see what he does. So if there are no other comments at this time, we can move right on over to Team Penske and the Ghost for their 7th round pick.
I
6th
get
round
back to
pick.
back as well. Oh, I'm sorry.
This is true. I was just correcting myself. You got it.
All right, so we are gonna go with Hendrick 9 Chase and Sir Sadsack.
Solid picks there.
Two solid picks. I believe Hendrick won Xfinity race. McCard and YB still want to talk about that finish in Pocono. And then Satsak just been a stable, kind of been just a fringe playoff guy in the Xfinity series. Is where I assume he will go. So good on both of them. Even though Hendrick's internet has been really bad lately, we'll see where they go with that one.
Yeah, big day for Cade.
Yeah, and I believe Mason is next up with his pick.
Yeah, I haven't really had much time to think about this one. There's some good talent out there, but there's also a lot of baggage that comes with it. And just trying to find our guy here. But I think I'm gonna go Steelers boy here. I think I'm gonna go Steelers, or is he taken? He's off the draft board, isn't he?
No, he is. He should be available.
Here he is. Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
here.
he's available. Yeah, we're gonna take Steelers boy here with my second to last pick to try to hold down that Xfinity roster.
Yeah, and he's been in our server before. He was in season 1. He was in the 9 car. He won 4 races that season. JoJo probably knows or remembers him a lot. But shot in the dark pick as well. But if he brings that same pace, even though it was 3 years ago, to here, he will be a good driver for Trackhouse. And I believe
Hendrick Motorsports.
Hendrick Motorsports, yes. But with these are our final 2 picks. Well, this one and then in the round 7. But in round 6, Hendrick Motorsports will select small NASCAR fan, and our goal is to put him in the Xfinity series.
Not bad. Small NASCAR fan does race F1. He's pretty quick. Actually, I'm pretty sure he has won a race or 2 this season so far. But he was one of the guys on my board. But I'm happy to see him go to one of the most probably one of the most successful teams in the league. So I'm happy to see what Hendrick Motorsports and Small NASCAR fan can do. As if we do not have any other comments at this time, this puts Stuart Haas Racing on the clock. And
back to back and to end your draft.
I think one of the guys I want to go with. I'm not super close with. He's finally come back to the league after a good hiatus, whether it was forced upon him or not. But the driver I'm going to pick, fellow Denny Hamlin fan, along with Big Jim, that's a terrorist.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna see what he can do here, and then probably the second pick. I'm gonna have to look over real quick, and then I'll get it back to us here. Just a moment. It's only take a couple seconds.
Okay. Terrace gets picked. Another guy that was in the championship fight last year in the Truck Series. So you know what you're getting with Terrace. Yeah, the lag might be an issue, but if it's not, then good pick there.
As a second pick, or last pick, for Sewer House Races draft is GUYT2. I
There's
think
some big names still on the board. What was it? Just talk us through the pick with GU there.
so. GU, I don't think he's been here for a bit, but he's usually a truck driver, and I do believe he can contend for wins down here in the Xfinity Series. So I'm excited to see what he can do here at Stewart Haas Racing. Unfortunately, part-time, but things can possibly change as well. So we're going to see what we can do here with GU. I've never been teammates with him before, but I'm excited for this season. So if there are no other comments at this time, we can move right on along to Hendrick Motorsports is now on the clock.
Yeah, we're deciding between three drivers. Just gonna look at the form. I don't know. He's giving me two options, and I don't know who's a safer pick between these two. So I think we'll. I don't know. I guess we'll do heads or tails. Yeah, we're still deciding. This will be our final pick, so obviously, just got to make sure we get the right one. Um, okay, and Riley has made his decision, and we will go with the D2 championship contender, Gary.
Solid.
Yeah, we were kind of picking between two heads or tails, coin flip. Yes, Garrison. And that will end our draft.
Headed back home because he was in the 7 last year, wasn't he? Or was that the year
He
prior?
was in the 7,
Season
that was
prior.
season 5, I believe.
5, gotcha.
And now, no more trades or anything left, so each team will have their at least one pick left, and next is Trackhouse.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a little bit of my time here, just a little bit, to consult with my drafted drivers so far and see what we can do. Okay.
Yeah, good name still on the board. We'll just name. I guess we only have 3 picks left, so we can name drop. Just based on what I'm seeing, Dank is still out there. Jonathan Jurg is still out there. You love a good Porchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Porchy. You love a good Porchy.
I've got the
Can't-
pick
King
in.
Henry,
Can't forget Thai Racing either.
Thai Racing, Papo Musa, Slick NASCAR, Team Air Jordan. But I think Sosa has his pick.
Yeah, this some people like the people I feel like I've done wrong drafting for chemistry because I'm drafting people that are rivals with other people on my team, and it's not going to stop here, even with the last pick.
Uh-oh.
I cannot let this guy go. I didn't expect him to be here. Completely blew over my mind. We're going to go dank. We're going to go dank emotions to bolster down the Xfinity roster as our final guy. And yeah, I think that's somebody that flew under a lot of people's radar. Just because he got F1 doesn't mean he doesn't have NASCAR anymore. So yeah, welcome Dank.
Good pick. If Dank's the type of person where you're going to have to help him out, and if you can help him out, and I think he has a good group of guys that are willing to put the laps in. Eric, to name a few. But good pick there for Trackhouse to end their team selection.
Yeah, man, solid. I've known Dank for a good while. He's always nice to have around and stuff like that. Nice to talk to, nice to play games with, and I'm excited to see what he can do at Trackhouse. As no other comments? If nobody has any other comments, I should say, we can move right on along to Roush Fenley Keselowski's final pick of this draft with Heredia, if he is here and available.
Yep. I'm driving right now using all my talent I have with one hand. So
Stay
was
safe.
this very this is very controversial but great pick
Virtual. Yeah.
in stock. Okay. We are going to select the Lewis the Goat hater, Mr. Porchi, the greatest talent of all NASCAR all time.
You give
Here
that
he is.
man.
Welcome to our pick.
You give that man a fender, and he will be moving through the field.
I'm sorry. Wow. Oh, wow. Ooh.
Solid pick.
Great pick.
Yeah. I believe we have 2 picks left, and that is the Ghost and Captain Dead Dad. So if Ghost is ready, you can announce his pick.
Let me find.
Give me just
there.
one moment.
Nope.
I am consoling real quick.
Here
Sorry.
we go. No, I was having troubles finding which one that I need to put on the screen.
As he just got online. That one Portugal. We'll see him in the F1 series. Two picks, so
You know
we're
what?
gonna see.
I'm gonna go with the curveball. Just for the heck of it, give me I Warner.
Warner. Nice. Fellow Steelers fan. That's what I like to see. Solid pick. I think with enough laps and enough work, I think he could be pretty solid, no matter where he ends up.
And we have one final pick, and I have a feeling it will be this driver, but Captain Dead Dad with the final pick in our draft. You have the floor.
Yep, with our very last and final pick, most people know I've drafted 2 drivers back to back now that I don't really like them. I'm not drafting Paul Walker Supra. You're only racing on Tuesdays. Or am I drafting Matt Gaming? I am drafting Ty Racing, the man who is my rival in terms of college football. Ohio State is better, but you will be driving for me next season.
Spit, brother.
And that'll end the HPO draft. Now, just because you aren't picked does not mean you will not get to race. If we can get a little more interest, a few more new drivers, then we can add our truck series back to the stable. And then all these guys will just be placed in trucks or whatever team, whatever series people want to do after that. But, that wraps it up. And unfortunately, we'll just have to say that I think HMS has done another robbery to the field.
I just don't agree.
Nah, I can't agree with that either. I'll be
Yeah, I don't know
real.
about that.
Yeah, man.
But we'll see how it goes. We're not going to really talk for too much longer because we do have a race in about 30 minutes time. So, Ballstick, any final words to wrap things up?
No, I think this draft was pretty solid. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I estimated 34 viewers, so we had a good crowd. I want to say congratulations to every driver that was picked in this draft, and I hope all the people that ended up watching this draft come along to the F1 race in about 35-ish minutes or so. I think the stream will be up by then. But yeah, all these drivers who were not picked tonight, I would say don't worry, because there's always changes that can happen throughout the rest of the season, whether drivers end up making races or if their owners think you can just outperform one of their drivers. So we will see what happens with that. But on behalf of the Henry's Performance Racing League, thank you for joining us tonight. Join us once again here very soon. I'm your host, Ballstick, joined with co-host Always Joker, league owner Miss Soaps, and our few team owners, Ghost, Dead Dad, and Heredia. Thank you guys for joining us tonight, and